Hello, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. And we've got a packed show for you as per usual at the start of the week. A massive week for Manchester United. We've effectively got 3 transfer shows to come until Wednesday, and then Thursday it gets very, very real, doesn't it? Because we'll know which path we're going down, Champions League or Europa League, and that will really have a big impact on what happens to United this summer. But as things stand at the moment, let's start off with Romelu Lukaku. Not mentioned him on a transfer daily yet, but certainly going to get mentioned today. I know a lot of Manchester United fans would like to have him at Manchester United. Personally, look, if Mourinho wanted him, I would back him. But the reality is, I don't think Mourinho does want him. Mourinho sold him when he was at Chelsea and obviously has his reservations. I don't expect him to come. Some papers in the Sunday papers going with the line that Manchester United have been rejected by Lukaku and that he will prefer a move to Chelsea this summer. He's contracted till 2019 with Everton but refuses to sign a new contract. Fantastic season for Everton, scored a lot of goals, and I think many feel that in a better side than Everton, he'd score a lot more goals. Manchester United, bringing it back to us because that's what it's all about. We've missed a striker who's going to score goals against the lower teams, and Lukaku is fantastic about like that. He does go missing in the bigger games, never really seems to turn up against us for sure over the last 2 or 3 years, but he's not rejected Manchester United. His agent is Mini Raiola. If Manchester United wanted him, I think the deal would be very, very easy to do, and I think Raiola would like to do business with us because he knows he'll get a good deal out of it. But I think it comes back to what I've said consistently. Mourinho, I don't think he wants Romelu Lukaku. I don't think Manchester United have been rejected by Lukaku at all. In fact, Lukaku has good relationships with a few Manchester United players. And obviously, he is currently based in and around Manchester. So if United wanted the deal to be done, it could be done. I just don't think we want him. I don't think we're linked with him. I may be proved wrong with that, but I certainly wouldn't read anything into Manchester United being rejected by him. I just don't think we're in for him. The next player I want to talk about that it really does look like we are in for, Bernardo Silva. This has been rumbling for a few weeks now that United are interested in him, that Mourinho's a big fan of his. Portuguese, playing for Monaco. Loads of Monaco players been linked with moves at the moment. 23 years of age in August. As I've said before, he's been described as the Monaco Messi. Not quite on that level, I wouldn't say, but he has also said in the last couple of days that we'll see what happens in the summer. So he's not a player that's ruling out a move, and Manchester United and Mourinho are meant to be big admirers of his. He is certainly a player that we have players who play that position, whether it's Lingard, Mata, Mkhitaryan. Silva does sort of play to the right hand side, can play at a number 10, but does play to the right hand side more with Monaco. We saw him against Manchester City, very effective there. We do need a right sided player. £50 million they reckon the deal would be done. Apparently we're in advanced talks for him. He's a very, very good player. He's a very, very good player, and if Manchester United are in for him and we sign him, I'd be excited by that sort of signing. Bit like James Rodriguez last week, we need other players, but the order we sign players isn't necessarily going to be the order in how important they are to United. I'm sure we're going to sign a centre-back. I'm sure we're going to sign a number 9. I'm sure we'll sign somebody who is quick and can use some width, and maybe a left-back as well. So Silva to United, keep your eye on that. Looks like there's something in it, and a player that, I would welcome him at United. I think he's a very, very good player. Young, but already proved himself on the big stage. Give us your thoughts on that. But talking about Young, this is the player I was alluding to on the Sunday night show last night. Sorry, I've got a right itch on my neck. Christian Pulisic. If you don't know anything about him, plays for Dortmund. Some people would describe him as a number 10, and maybe that is his best position. But a lot of the time this season for Dortmund, he's been playing on the wing. He's ambidextrous in his feet, so he can play with both. Very two-footed. Whatever way you look at it for Manchester United, we need a winger with pace. He's got pace, he's got the skills, he can play in the middle as well. But I think Manchester United, as we know, need width. And a wide player who can whip a cross in off both feet would be very, very welcome. If you don't know anything about Christian Pulisic, he plays for America. He's USA with Croatian roots, but plays for America. I know if you're astute, you'll be thinking straight away, wow, an American player for Manchester United. Think of the pull and the merchandising and the interest we'd get from America. We have a huge American support in Manchester. It'd get even bigger with an American superstar in our side. And he is pretty much the first American player that people feel can be a world star. So why would Manchester United not be interested in him? Well, we need a wide player. He is very fast. He is very skillful. He has that American market attraction. But I think the kicker with this is really his age. He's only going to be 19 in December. He's only 18 years old. And that is the thing that makes me think that maybe we wouldn't go for him. And Dortmund are very, very, very difficult to get players from. I know we got Mkhitaryan last year, but Pulisic still contracted there till 2020. I think even he, well, something I forgot to tell you, Manchester United fan, big Manchester United fan. Back in 2016, he was saying how he loves Manchester United. Wayne Rooney was his hero, but he's here at Dortmund to build a career. I think it suits everybody if he has another year at Dortmund, and it may be a year too soon for him to come to United, and it's a bit of a left field signing. But I'd love him at Manchester United. He's exactly what we would need. He's got width, he's got pace, he's got the skills, he's two-footed, he is creative. You are pretty much creative if you play for Dortmund. It's the way they do things. I'd really welcome him at Manchester United. And I'd love us to have an American playing for us. I said it recently, I'd love us to get Hirving Lozano for the same reason. A winger, but Mexican. We've got a lot of fans there, and I think that it may not be important to some people, but I like that. I liked it when we had Kagawa, Japan. I liked it when we had Ji-sung Park, South Korean. I like that. I'd love us to have an Australian. I think it's great, and because Manchester United are a global club, but it can't be a reason why you sign people. But Pulisic, I like him a lot. A few of you people have been mentioning him to me. I just think it's probably a year too soon. But United fan as well, be fantastic. We need width. We need width. What else? I've got a player I want to talk to you about. Is in that sort of Eric Bailly mould. You could say Pulisic falls into that category, but probably not quite yet, as much as he would be an exciting signing. But just before I do, I want to mention that Sean Dyche, Burnley manager, has said that Manchester United are not going to get Michael Keane for anything less than 25 million, and they're not in a position where they need to sell. Sorry, Sean, you're playing with the big boys now. Stop trying to give it the big un. You're not hard. Michael Keane wants to leave Burnley. Burnley, he's only got 1 year left on the contract. If you want to play hardball, and we want Michael Keane, I'd wait till Christmas, get him next summer for nothing. That's what I'd be saying to Sean Dyche. So, Michael Keane, if he wants to come to Manchester United, he'll be coming to Manchester United if we want him. Simple as that. I think 25 million is way too much for a player that's only got 1 year left on their contract. I'm sorry. 15 million, take it or leave it, is what I would say. That's how you deal in the transfer window. So it'll be very interesting to see if we are going to pay 25 million for him, especially when we get a 30% fee back of that. So what's 30% of 2.5 million? 7.5 million, 18 million for him. It's about right, isn't it? Meet you halfway, see what happens. Quick maths there, but apparently we have a 30% buyback clause with Will Keane, which means any future deal we get 30% from. So if they want 25 million, 30% of 25 million, or 10% is 2.5 million, times 3, 7.5, minus that from 25 million, 17.5 million. Let's do the deal. Let's do the deal. Michael Keane, 17.5 million, 23-year-old. If you like him. I mean, I'd prefer better, but yeah, it's a good deal, isn't it? See what happens with that. De Gea, I don't want to talk about De Gea too much. You can say his tweets and Instagram posts are, you can read them both ways. I think he's going. I don't want him to go. I'm sad about it. If we can somehow keep him, I'll be happy to be wrong. I absolutely love him. Sorry, I do yawn in the morning sometimes. It is quite tiring. But the player I want to talk about in that sort of Eric Bailly mould of being the left field signing that nobody saw coming, and I think there'll be a couple of those this summer, so we'll try to talk about one a day that it could be. Steven Nzonzi, Sevilla, was formerly at Stoke. Many of you may know quite a lot about him. He's a very tall player. I think he's 6'5". I may have that wrong, but I think he's definitely well over 6 foot. He is an interesting player because he has just signed a new contract at Sevilla, but Sevilla are a bit of a selling club. He's 29 in December, so he's 28 and a half, coming towards, well, he's in his prime years, you could say. But if you remember him at Stoke as a midfielder, he's a centre defensive midfielder effectively. French, never played for France, never had a cap for France, but that doesn't mean he's not a Manchester United player. My concern with him would be maybe he's just another Schneidlin, but at Stoke he was a very good centre defensive midfielder, if not a top 4 player. You know, he could put his foot in, get around, but what he's brought to his game at Sevilla, or what Sevilla have brought out of him that Stoke never did, is a real ability to play the ball, be good on the ball, but very, very good at breaking up the play, feeding players ahead of him, good off both feet, but he has got a good passing range, and he's got a very good engine, and obviously he's very big, and he's very good in the tackle. I think for a Mourinho sort of defensive midfielder, and we know Mourinho likes tall players, if you think about Matic, Nzonzi is very, very interesting, and a few of you have been mentioning him for a long time and saying, can you mention him? And I've sort of done a little bit of research over him over the last couple of months. I know him from a Stoke player, but yeah, he is an interesting sort of left field signing. Do I think we'll do it? Probably not, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we went and bought him, because we've been playing Fellaini in our midfield, and if you compare Fellaini to Nzonzi is 3 or 4 times the player Fellaini is as a footballer, because he actually can use the ball on the floor. He is quicker at getting around. He's good in the tackle. He's good at running with the ball. And he's as tall as Fellaini. So if I could get rid of Fellaini for Nzonzi, I'd do it every day of the week. So that's the only thing I would say about that. Whether we'll do it or not, I don't know. But he is an interesting one. Yeah, I like the look of him because there's players I'd prefer in the centre defensive midfielder. A bit more pace about them. But Nzonzi, well, we've been playing Fellaini in there. He's a massive step up on that, so he's quite interesting. So, give us your thoughts on the show today. Well, give us a like, that'd be nice. But give us your thoughts on the players that we mentioned today. I know a lot of you like Lukaku. Silva seems to be advancing quite quickly. Michael Keane, do you think we should be paying 25 million? Pulisic, I like him a lot. Whether we can do it or not, I don't know. And Nzonzi, what's your thoughts on that? De Gea as well, if you want to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything you think we should be talking about future in the week? But Thursday is going to be the D-Day, isn't it? Are we going to be looking at Champions League players, or are we going to be looking at the Europa League? Massive game as we build towards it on Wednesday. But this is the start of the biggest week in United have had in years. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember to drop a like if you like the Transfer Daily Show. And I'll be back tonight with Skype Goldbridge. Remember, Skype Goldbridge tonight. It's your show. Join us. Have your say. Speak to you all very soon. I've got to stop the yawning.